Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to CCxRC. In this video, we're taking a look at a brand new mashup between Furitek and Hobby Plus. This is the... All right, you guys, I do want to say thank you to Furitek. They did send this out for me to review it for you guys. I'm not being paid to review it. I'm not being told what to say about it. In fact, you get nothing with this when you get it to review. The box comes in the mail. There's no directions. We don't even know what the specs are. So we're kind of looking at the box, reading the instructions, going over it all to try and even figure it out. We've done reviews on these other ones before, so when they said what it was, I definitely wanted to give it a shot because I love Furitek products. I've really enjoyed the Hobby Plus offerings in the CR18 series, and the Evo series I think has just been really killer stuff that they've come out with. And so that partnership between them I think is super cool. And anyway, we'll get back to reviewing this for you guys, but I wanted to definitely make sure you knew that this was sent for review. Not going to let that, you know, skew my judgment. I've run a lot of these now, and I'm just going to tell you how I feel about it based on all of the RCs and the minis that I have. So I definitely think Hobby Plus is, of the builds that are out there, it's one of my favorite as far as out-of-the-box capabilities with these. So I know that going in, and I'm just hoping this takes it to the next level. This is the T-Hunter in the matte green. It is their CR18P, but it's got a whole bunch of Furitek goodness piled up underneath this thing. I have the other one as well, as you can see right here. Quite a few similarities. You'll also see, though, there are quite a few differences. A little bit knobbier tire on this one, better shocks, aftermarket chassis. I like Unimogs. You guys know that. I've been begging for a mini Unimog. Was super excited when these first came out. Had to have one. And here we go. So now we have two of them. And I love the matte green. I will say that for sure. One of the cool things and one of the hard things about these was getting inside to work on them. Not terrible. Just a few screws you had to remove. Had the little on-off switch here on the side. A couple jerry cans. Cool things. Extra fifth wheel. It's a spare that's usable on there. This one does not have that. So just quickly looking around the outside, that is not on here. Still the same battery compartment. Not a huge fan of it. I do like that they are able to tuck it away that way. But I'm going to be honest, I already have been driving this. And one of the hardest things that I found with these is just getting this on here and getting it to stay on. Trying to get all these wires. I wish it was just a little bigger for these batteries, because I feel like you're just really jamming up all the cables and stuff. And then if you're in a rush and you're sitting here trying to get in here and get it working, I don't know. I just, you know that I rail against battery compartments on 10 scales, on other things. It's just hard to get it to stay on there. But not the end of the world. Not for what the rest of it is, which I think is really, really cool. They did get rid of the spare tire back here. Actually, very cool, usable looking space in the back. Dig the look of it without it. The coolest thing is the flip top now. Ta-da! You can get in there. You can work on stuff. You can see this Hobby Plus Furitek aftermarket chassis setup that they've got here with that angled skid plate even. They've got the better shocks on here. Those are oil-filled big bore shocks is what they're calling them. And you're running the Lizard, Furitek Lizard ESC with their Venom Outrunner motor. It's just tucked up underneath in here. You can kind of see it in there. You can see the Furitek logo shining. It's an Outrunner motor. Works pretty good, I think. Got their receiver pack in here. One of the new things actually that they've done is that they include a little card. Where is that? All right, so one of the new things is this right here, which is their little programming card, which has a diagram on the back of it even here that tells you how to do it, the values for each thing, for drag brake, voltage cutoff, BEC output, and the motor direction is right here. So you can see on here you got modes and then the values of those modes. So we have to unplug our stuff from the receiver to get to the ESC plugged in here. We'll turn it on. You'll see that we have some lights showing up here. There's some buttons on the bottom to allow you to select between, and then set, go to your next one. And so this one is saying, let me get this paper out even here. So it's saying drag brake is set to full. See, all those are lit. On number 2 is the drag brake settings. So the first one's saying my motor set to counterclockwise. So we're gonna hit set on that. We'll see what number 3 is. We're shutting off at 3 volts because its lights are set up like that. Do one more here. And the last one is saying that we are set to 6.5 volts for our BEC output. Even though the manual says it's 5.5, mine actually came at 6.5. So going back here, actually shows our we'll have to see which way we're supposed to be for that. When I turned it on, it was set this way, which was counterclockwise, and I said set and walked through them. So we'll see. I'm gonna have to put it all back. We'll see if I've got it right. For steering, this should have been right above that. Let's see. That sounded good. Yep, there we go. Okay, got it right. So I just missed them because I couldn't really see them in here. But the bottom one, if it's set up this way, you can see where mine is set up. But the very bottom port on this, number 1 was steering. The second one was for the ESC to plug into. And then we just did the top one, or the 4th one, for our lighting. And that's good to go. So you can see the magnet in the back here. That's what's holding this. Got a nice piece of metal in there as well. So it holds pretty good. I mean, it snaps in there, I'd say really nice. So that's a really, really good feature of it. The servo up here is very quick for what it is. We do have the working lights. I can go back to handheld here for it for a minute so we can look around a little better. But it does come with this in it to be able to program it. It's not set up Bluetooth right out of the box. You do have the manual here as well. Kind of go through all the booklet stuff, parts, how to do it, everything, build everything. And it has the instructions for the program card. You also get a charging cable and a little wrench, T-wrench. And here is our remote. And channel 4 is what we do want for our lights. Typically you'd use that to cycle through. You've got a whole bunch of features here on the top of the radio that you can get to, but we're just going to get to driving here, guys, show you a little bit of the experience. And it's 4-wheel drive. Do have those oil-filled shocks. The weight of the truck itself isn't super heavy, but it's 18th scale. Again, you got that chassis in there. What's the degree here? So here's a bunch of the stuff. You got 1.2-inch tires. So wheels and tires. So you got a little bit bigger beadlock rim in there. Evo transmission, full metal gearbox. It says this is a single speed one, so that's why nothing's plugged into channel 3. That's what normally would switch your speeds. Oil filled big bore shocks, servo and axle. I do like that. Here's that 5-degree angle. That's what I was looking for. Metal geared transmission, gearbox, front and rear axles, and it does have 45-degree steering angles. It's got portal axles underneath it. A lot of things that a lot of people like. I really like the look of it. I overall like the handling of these Hobby Plus. I think they're really nice out of the box, especially for a stock truck. We're gonna get this running for you guys. Are you ready to see it? Huge thank you to Furitek for sending this out for us to do a review on. Not doing as many reviews, you guys, just because of time these days, but these mini trucks are still, you know, my passion right now. And so when they reached out, I said definitely would love to give it a look. Plus, again, this right here is what I love. The T-Hunter, that Unimog chassis look, I think it's absolutely killer. So I can't wait to get in there and see how they've upgraded this and made it even better out of the box, because I still run and love my T-Hunter. So again, thanks to Furitek. This was sent to me to review. I do not have to say that I love everything about it or anything. There's no strings attached. They just sent it and said, tell people what you think. So that's what we're doing. Let's go. Let's see what we get for our slow crawl. Remember, we got our drag brake at 100%, so I can let go and it's just going to hold it. on the hill. So I'd like that. So that's nice. Super slow crawling, the lights just shining. Getting that flex, decent flex so far. We get it up on here. Not really stalling out too bad. Got that FOC technology. Go up into our mud pit, drop in. It's got all the wheel speed we need, so that's not going to be an issue. Moved a few rocks around, the kids playing back here. You're going to want that wheel speed here. There's a pretty good bump that kind of catches the back wheels and the front. Little wheel speed though, you can get up that same spot. See how that 45-degree turning radius is here? It's wanting to roll, it feels like. Let's see if it'll settle it down here. There we go. It's a pretty steep descent. Let's see if we tip it all here. We're losing it. Yeah, we did. We rolled it down. Let's run it up again, see if we can get a different angle on it. That battery sits pretty high for one. It's a pretty big battery. Sitting up on the back in that little compartment again. Those compartments are not my favorite thing. I'm willing to deal with it because I like the Unimog enough. Oh, I forgot. This thing has gotten worked pretty good. We have had lots of kids playing on it recently. We had a small group here for our church and let kids run a whole bunch of different trucks. And we were pretty abusive. That back little wall there, there's a little bit more gap now than normal. It's all good. It's worth it. See if we get a different angle here. That back end is just not dropping. So I would say the weight balance of this definitely feels like it leans to the front. There's more weight up front. You could probably see that it's pretty high, everything in there. Up in the chassis as well, where it's all mounted. Because that back end's already kind of wanting to lift, even coming down straight. It's wanting to let go. That's interesting. Why is it unloading like that? There we go. Little bit of weight, little bit of brass down low, it'll help. Brass wheels would be great on this. Probably will be one of my first upgrades. The oil-filled shocks feel really good. Gonna have to do a little reverse here. Wind it up and over. Again, it's flexing out really good compared to a lot of the trucks I run out here. It's very comparable to that. And this is right out of the box. So the ones that I usually run on that I'm comparing it to and thinking of are all heavily upgraded aftermarket. Whoever put that rock there made it a doozy for the front end here. I mean, there's not much you can do with that. It's not typically like set up like that. That's pretty wild. All right, we got some traction going. Again, slow crawl, super nice. It's flexing really good. The oil-filled shocks look good. I, again, probably would let it sit more and droop, which would, I think, help some of that. So either cutting the shock springs so that when it's sitting on suspension, it'll sit lower. On other trucks, I usually just will remove the springs completely on these. So that might help here, because I feel like the springs are still pushing it back a little bit, and potentially not having them on there would help for this slow crawl and stuff that I do. If you're going to be bouncing and going fast outside, running around, you'll want those springs, but when you're just doing everything slow and kind of purposeful, like I've been doing with it so far in this video, I don't feel like it's necessary. See there, you can see how light that back end is. Put some weights maybe down on top of that axle would help. Overall though, I'd say it's handling pretty good. You know, again, I compare this to stuff that I have $600 into a build on. Lots of brass upgrades, mainly down low below the suspension to keep it from wanting to tip like this is doing. And I really feel like if we just had something in the back, that alone, look at that, it's looking nice. Yeah, I'm liking that. I'll have to take this up. We've been doing 18 scale comps and just see how it would do out of the box compared to some of the other ones that have a lot of upgrades on them. I definitely, like I said, I feel that front end right there, that kind of stuff. That's where it's really problematic. On the steep descents, when you're trying to make a little corner. Interesting. But I feel like if we just got a little bit weight down low, even just brass wheels, I think night and day difference. Brass wheels aren't super expensive. 35 bucks for a 1.0 set. Put some scramblers on here. You guys were waiting for me to say it. I know it. I think that's what this is going to get. Some brass wheels and some scramblers. And then we'll see how it does with this descent. I also feel like if I could just get around some of this upper part of the drop, I'll be alright. Let's see if we drop in here where it's not quite as steep. It still go down, but because there's nothing to kick the back end up and get it starting over. Well, right here this drop might, you can see that back wheel's lifted. We made it. We'll go up it now. Not a problem going up. And again, wheel speed for days. Oh, there's some of that. There's a little bit of that upper weight. Huh. The side hill and stuff is tough for it. That's not even that crazy of one. You try and turn out of it and you're in trouble. Back. Okay, we're out of it. There we go. There we go. Oh, back end's up again. Drop it. Definite rear end weight needed. Bumpers a little bit, thinking from a comps idea, a little bit of a hang up, but it's high and out of the way for the most part. I feel like any truck would be hitting front end on that if this bumper's catching, because it is that raised, and it doesn't protrude that far, I don't feel like. So guys, there you have it. The T-Hunter, Furitek, and Hobby Plus coming together to make this awesome Unimog. All ready for you, ready to run with the brushless system, all that. I feel like all you really need to maybe add to it is some brass wheels, and you're going to be off to the races and running, guys, with this thing. Very cool platform that they've got with this Evo setup, the CR18P. I like it in single gear because with this motor, that's really all you need. You go slow, you go fast, and the motor and ESC take care of it. Chassis gives you lots of mounting options. Lots and lots for the price, guys. Anyway, thanks for tuning in. As always, check back for more on this thing very soon. Have fun RCing. Catch you next time.